Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. It's here. Reclaim Your Health Academy is officially open and launched. If you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, if you are scared because you're genetically predisposed to disease, if you want to make lifestyle change and you have no clue where to start, especially wanting to make a holistic swap in your life, look no further. Welcome to Reclaim Your Health Academy. I am teaching you all of the things that I learned while I was going through my cancer journey and after in survivorship that truly helped heal my body. We are going to transform your health, your energy, and your life on a mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and energetic level. We start January 8th for our live coaching program, where you will be with like-minded individuals who want to truly make change in their life because they know that they are worthy of it, and so are you. I hope to see you there. You can head on over to www.holistichumanperformance.co/academy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Gena Bradshaw, and today we have a very special guest. Her name is Judith Richey. She is a spiritual and transformative healer and the founder of A Force for Transformation. I am so excited to have her on. We met through another connection, all through networking, and the power of networking is so real. And we hit it off. We had a phone call and we just totally hit it off. And I was like, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? I would love to interview you. And here we are. So without further ado, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you, Gena, for the opportunity to come and talk with you today.
You're so welcome. So Judith, you're a spiritual and transformative healer. Tell me what's your journey? How does one even get into that? Let's talk about it.
All the things. I'll tell you.
All the things.
Because I'm just kind of like an open book, and it's important to tell our stories. And that's the things I've learned about women is that we are so afraid that we're the only person going through what we're going through. And we carry so much shame around it. And we create these identities about ourselves based on our life experiences and the things that have happened to us and through us. And we're not the only one. And so part of the reason why I do what I do is to help women understand that we are all in need of healing. There's opportunities for all of us for healing on multiple levels. And the more you listen to other women tell their stories and tell your stories, the more you find out we're really connected on this core level, that this is our experience here for our eventual soul evolution.
I love that. Oh, I'm so glad you opened it up with that because I resonate with that. I had trouble sharing my story. It makes you feel very vulnerable. And like you said, you can have shame around it. And, you feel like you're the only person that went through something like that. And I think it's so important to have people like yourself where you are pretty much in their corner. You're like, no, it's going to be okay. I'm going to help you through this. And, community is so important. And it's so important for us to just share and be vulnerable and connected with other people, like-minded people. However, we're not meant to be isolated beings. That's just not in the cards for us. Thank you for that. I love that opening.
You're welcome. You know, I've created something new that we'll get to in a minute that is all about having that safe space, that place to be vulnerable, that connection and that support. And that's really my story. I didn't have that. I went through a unexpected and unwanted divorce. And I was basically on my own. I had a community of support, but they were more like, hey, we're going to make sure that your kids get to have Easter this year. And hey, we're going to make sure that you have groceries, because my husband wiped out the bank account as he left and left me with 5 children and no money and, you know, things like that. But there wasn't the emotional support that I was looking for. And I was raised in a fairly structured religious environment. That I took a lot of things away from that are still very dear to me. And it didn't give me the space to be able to go and get the comfort and support that I needed. I actually sat across the desk from a pastor one time and he took out his Bible and thumped it at me, literally thumped his Bible at me, because now I was a divorced woman, which meant that I was a wanton woman and I was an outcast and I was this horrible branded sinner, you know, because of all the things that are taught in that environment. So I went through this divorce. I was plunged into being superwoman because I had an infant child and 4 kids, and I was it. I had to do all of it. And what happened to me is that I put my healing way on the back burner. I didn't even know I needed to do healing. I just was going through life in this naive bubble of, okay, this is just what I got to do. You know, I just got to make sure these kids get taken care of and fed and raised into school and in the activities, and don't get pregnant, don't get somebody pregnant, don't get on drugs, don't get thrown in jail, you know, all the things, right? You know, and so it wasn't until well into my second marriage, and I'm married to a wonderful man. We've really worked hard to develop this beautiful marriage that we have. I crashed and burned in about 2008. I was in a career that I was very good at, but that I didn't really want to be doing. And I couldn't get anybody to listen to me, how miserable I was. My health was in jeopardy. My emotional, mental health was all in jeopardy. And I finally just crashed and burned. And again, 2008, right? You would think 2008, we'd have all kinds of resources and opportunities. Not so much. The personal development world was really just cranking up at that point. There were a few people who knew about places to go to get help, but in the area I was in geographically, there wasn't anything. I mean, I went to the bookstores and it was all, you know, hey, how to do this well and how to be this and how to, it wasn't when you're sitting on the couch crying for 6 months, how do you pull yourself out of that? There was none of that. Okay. So in that sitting on the couch for 6 months crying, I had a very spiritual experience where literally divine, whatever word you want to use for God, universe, spirit, whatever, creator, whatever word that works for you, literally reached down and turned me on, just turned me back on again. The switch flipped. I felt it. And now I know what that's called. It's called your God switch. And when
love that.
Literally it's called your God switch, because when we go through trauma, we switch off and we become disconnected, right? So my God switch got turned back on. And I was at that same time looking for answers of how to help my youngest daughter, who had just been diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, and dyslexia. And I was very against using any medical intervention for her. So I got introduced into the world of holistic health, which is your wheelhouse, right?
Love it. I'm here for it.
Kind of one thing led to another. I got off into oils. I became a holistic health coach. And then I discovered this amazing world of healing that I never knew anything about. And I just jumped in, all in. I became certified in several different healing modalities. And that's kind of what has led me to where I am now. That's the short story. We have such an opportunity to create that support and that space for people, and to go out there and help people know that You're not alone. You're not the only one. Yes, this happens. Really crappy things happen to us in life. And I want to say another word, but I'll keep it clean. Stuff happens to us, and we're here for you. We can be here for you. You do not have to go through these things alone. And without the judgment, without the shame, without having you feel embarrassed to share this. And it's just a beautiful divine calling to be able to do this kind of work and offer that help to others. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just like, so your presence makes me so calm. And and also, I see this a lot where women will get divorced and then they don't know how to get out of this whirlwind that they're in, right? This very low place. And they hold a lot of hate towards men after, or whatever you prefer. But either way, they hold a lot of hate towards the union of marriage and the familial structure, and they hold that in their body. And I'm so glad that you, number one, have a beautiful marriage after that, and 5 kids. Fun fact, I think we spoke about this, but I'm the oldest of 5, so that's a lot.
It was. I look back and I'm like, how did we do that? And I'm not going to paint this rosy picture for you that I married this man and he was my knight in shining armor, and he came in and rescued my kids and me. No, it was hell for several years. He'd never raised kids. And so he came into this family that had basically circled the wagons and didn't let anybody else in. And he kept trying to get in, and it was very difficult because my kids didn't trust him and they didn't like him, and he didn't know how to be a stepdad. And he brought his own stuff to the marriage, and so for a long time it was really hard. And there's been fallout. I have a kid who won't even speak to me. I've got other ones who have experienced their own relationship trauma. It's a journey, right?
Yeah.
And we're each in our journey, and we're each here to learn our own lessons. And so it's not all about, oh, this one thing is going to happen and it's going to make everything okay, because we have the lessons, we have the opportunities. I keep saying this because it's not a have to. We don't have to heal. We don't have to learn the lessons. But guess what? If you don't this time, you get another time to do it. So you might as well this time, right? Get more goodies the next time. So it was hard. And the thing is, even though we looked at not staying married a couple of times, we made a conscious decision to stay married, to work on the marriage, to never give up. And we've just celebrated 21 years and we're still growing together, still. And it's a conscious, intentional thing that we do every day, both individually and together. And, you just have to decide, do you want to sit in your, I'm just going to say it. Sorry.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you just want to sit in your shit and live in that victimhood? Or do you choose to grow? Do you choose to heal? Do you choose to move forward? And it really is an intentional choice that we make.
Choice is everything.
Yeah.
You have free will and you have choice, and that's what we were given here on this earth as human beings, spiritual beings, really living the human experience.
That's it, right?
And
yes.
yeah, and what you choose to do with these circumstances is up to you. You can either stay in your own shit, or you can kind of the rise up from the ashes and become that phoenix, and be able to give back. You literally you went through it, and now it puts you on this path where you learned about holistic health and you learned about healing and all of these modalities, which, by the way, I have just been, there's just a theme, like all of this stuff, when people go through these adverse times and challenges, right, and then they choose to make a difference, it is divine timing where they fall into these wheelhouses of Eastern medicine, holistic health, healing modalities, spirituality, energetics, the things that we are literally not taught when, you know, we come into this earth. We're not taught this in school. Most of our families don't teach this unless your parents have been, or your guardians have been into this. And I think it's like this resiliency of wanting to learn and wanting to move forward and wanting to grow and wanting to get better. And so kudos to you for doing that, and being honest about like, hey, I went through hell, by the way. So, you know, but this is what happened on the other side, because now you're helping people.
Yeah, you know, and it's funny because I was in a lead. I lead these intention circles, and I want to talk about that in a minute. But we were in our circle this morning, and one of our girls is literally going through hell. She's just got all kinds of stuff going on with her parents who are aging and have health concerns and mental and cognitive issues right now, financial concerns. And it's we see her really leaning into the support that she's able to get here. And one of the things we assured her today of was, there's so much beauty on the other side. Yes, there's hell to go through, and there's beauty on the other side. And it's not just one time. That hell you're going to go through maybe several times, and it just gets more beautiful and more beautiful and more beautiful on the other side. Right now I'm going through something, and I'm embracing it and just sitting with it because I know what's coming. There's a huge level up that's coming, right? And I know what it's around. I'm developing a new business with a couple of partners. I don't know if you and I talked about this. I think
No, I don't think we did. This is awesome.
So I'm in the process of doing all the legal paperwork for this new business and putting, you know, together the licensing agreements and the applications for leaders and operations manuals and training manuals and all those things with my partners. And I know that whatever this is, and I think I've put my thumb on exactly what it is, this healing that I'm going through is just going to pour into and up level this business that we're birthing right now. So I'm at the point where I've done this enough times, and I'll do it a few more times. You know, when this stuff hits, it's like, okay, let me just sit in awareness. Let me welcome this. Let me be grateful for this, because I know what's coming on the other side. And that's scary for people when they just start out their healing journey. Like, okay, Sue does not want to admit how much she has anger against her sister, and how she's still carrying a grudge, and how she resents that her sister was the favorite of the parents, and all of the stuff. She don't want to admit any of that, because what does it say about Sue? Well, it doesn't say anything except that you're just an unhealed soul. That's all it says. And where's the shame in being an unhealed soul? That's the whole reason we're here, is for the edification and the growth and the knowledge and wisdom in our soul's journey. Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, there's so much to unpack here.
right. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, it's so true, because I think it's so important. Like you just said, you're going through this, like, we could call it the trenches, I guess. You're going through this trench, and you know that on the other side, like, this is part of like the up level. And when you're able to acknowledge that and be like, okay, I have to like go through this healing right now, because I know it's going to be so beneficial for me on the other side. That's when we really tap into our true innate power as these, like, as spiritual beings. And we're like, God, divine source, you know, universe got me, and I trust, and I know that I'm going to move forward with what feels right for me. And I'm going to also go through the healing journey as well. As, you know, slightly painful as it is, you know, we have our crying, screaming moments, but you know, it's so important to go through these things to up level and, you know, again, like, help other people. Like, that's the end goal, is really, what are we bringing here to the collective?
Exactly.
So I think that's so important.
I think we haven't, I don't think, in the core of my being, there's a knowing that those of us who are here in these roles, we have an obligation to the collective to participate in our own healing. And because that's fulfilling our soul mission, right? That's fulfilling what this life's purpose is, to
Right.
benefit the collective. We can choose to not, we can choose to stay and sit in our shit, but it's so miserable for us and it's miserable for the collective too, you know?
Yeah.
So when we take this on, and it's a free will choice again, when we take this on, this is part of what we sign up for.
We signed up for this.
We do. We sign up for this.
So why don't you talk about first off, tell us about your business. I want to learn more. Tell us about your business, tell us what you do and how you help other people throughout their journey, really.
So I feel like I'm a conduit for healing. You can't say spiritual and transformative conduit. People don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Right. Right.
So that's why the healer part. I have beautiful modalities that I'm trained in. The primary one that I use is called healing from the body level up. And what this does is I help people connect with their soul's deepest wisdom. And we do that through muscle testing. I'm sure you're familiar with muscle testing, right?
Love it. Love it.
One of my clients learns how to muscle test. And it's funny because if you can't muscle test, well, that's because you got some stuff we need to get taken care of. And fortunately, I am able to proxy muscle test for you to get the answers while you're getting the healing, right? Okay, so we muscle test, we create these goals of what you want to achieve in your life right now. And maybe, 3-5 years from now, but mostly present. What are you achieving in your life? We make sure that that's worded correctly. Everything's exactly the way it should be, because the words matter in this work that we do, because the soul is listening. We're sending the soul messages. Hey, we need you to come in and give us guidance here, to give us guidance there. That guidance first comes in the form of an intake that we do, cover about 150 different points in that, to see what are the patterns that are interfering with you reaching these goals. Okay. So we have some basic ones, and then we can go into more complicated patterns. And then we eventually get into real spiritual stuff, what Christians would term spiritual warfare type patterns. Those exist. I mean, those are just absolutes in the universe. There is that good versus evil thing going on, and we do have to combat the evil that's affecting us. So I do that on a one-on-one basis. My clients have told me that it's too personal of work to do in a group. So I respect that. And so we don't do that particular type of work in a group because it is very personal, and there is a level of, right? Okay. I do.
Judith, I want to pause you right there. Can you tell the listeners and just explain what a muscle test is for those of
Okay, so muscle testing is something that was developed by chiropractors and kinesiologists about 80, 90 years ago. Okay, and they use it to literally push on different parts of your body to see what the muscle reaction is. Is it soft? Is it weak? Is it strong? And so they know what parts of your body to work on. And they also chiropractors especially are able to tell by muscle testing what kind of supplementation you might need. Okay. So we take it in, and you can do it. Let me back up. I saw a demonstration when I was in college, and there was a chiropractor talking about health, and he had a person reach their arm out straight out. Okay. And he pushed on it, and it was pretty firm. He just pushed right above their wrist. And then that person drank an entire Coke, 17 tablespoons of sugar, right? And that chiropractor came and pushed on that person's arm again, and it just fell, because the immediate effect of the toxicity of the sugar in the body affected it physically. So it's the same type of toxicity that we're looking for in doing the spiritual muscle testing, to see what you're carrying, what negative energies are lodged in your body that give us an opportunity for healing. So I have my people start out with a sway test where they're standing up, and we ask certain questions. And when they get falling forward, that's a yes, and they get no, it's going backwards. Sometimes people go sideways, and that's because they've got some phobias we need to clear. So we get those cleared up. And then once they're comfortable with that, we move it to using our fingers and muscle testing and getting yes or no's on our fingers.
Wow,
So
that's
what
awesome.
muscle testing is. Yeah.
No, I love muscle testing. I'm a huge advocate for it. I will utilize it sometimes. And I actually did see Dr. Wayne Dyer. He had someone hold their arm out and he was like, "Okay, tell the truth about yourself." Strong as anything. The arm wasn't moving. Tell yourself a lie, and the arm just went immediately down.
Yeah.
The body doesn't lie. The
No.
body never lies.
So when we alert the soul with a phraseology from your deepest wisdom, that's soul, you get to answer through this physical response, right? Through this visceral response. Okay, I'm gonna blow your mind. I'm sorry if you're listening to this on podcast, not visual, but I'm going to show her a little device. It's called a key ring, and you can use this to muscle test too. And so this is very effective, and it helps my muscle testing go faster when we're in a session when my clients use this. So watch this. From my deepest wisdom, I'm wearing a navy blue shirt. Yes. From my deepest wisdom, I'm wearing a purple shirt. No, not a purple shirt. Isn't that cool? So
that's so awesome.
These are called True Testers. Just Google them. You can order them. They're about $36, including tax. I get nothing off of that. I just think they're really cool gizmos, and they're accurate. They're accurate.
Yeah, and it's like, so I mean, it's also a little bit easier when you can do it instead of like having the arm out and like pushing down.
Sway. Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
So that is one-on-one work. So what's the priority? What's the priority interference pattern that we need to clear? Okay, so we just go after it, and the soul is directing us all the way through that process. It's beautiful, beautiful work. You know, people have huge learnings. The effects are immediate. And it was so cute. I had a client call me this morning. Was waiting to hear about a job offer. And she says, my anxiety's out of the roof. And so I said, okay, let's jump on. Let's do some muscle testing. Let's do some tapping. And no kidding, the minute we got done, she got an email from the people and heard about the job.
Oh, that's amazing.
So powerful stuff happens.
Very powerful. Very powerful.
Work. I'm developing some digital courses that are going to be available. I have a very robust, about 100-page ebook that's available free for people right now. It's about unlocking your full potential by letting go of your limiting beliefs. And I have exercises in there and the kind of the reasons why we hold on to limiting beliefs and how to work through them. It's self-guided. It's a great starting point. And people who are attuned or learning to become attuned to themselves can use that as a jumping board. Now, it's not going to offer complete healing, but it's a great place to start understanding limiting beliefs and recognizing your own. And I've got some other courses coming out. The one thing that I've developed that we're forming a new company around is called Intention Circles. Now, that's not an original name. This is all based on work by Lynn McTaggart and the book, The Power of Eight. And I don't know if you're familiar with that or not, Gena.
You mentioned I actually wrote the book down. I have it on my list of reads. We spoke about it the last time we spoke on the phone.
So it's actually available free as a PDF. For those of you who are listening, just go Google The Power of Eight and you can find a way to download it as a PDF. And because I think it's kind of hard to find in print. This woman did experiments on manifesting and creating tangible results that were scientifically verifiable. And so to condense all the 300 pages, I'm just going to tell you that she figured out that if you have 8 people come together, 8 is the sweet spot of having this group manifesting going on. 12 is okay, 5 is okay, 8's really the number. So we've been running intention circles, and the results are unlike anything I've ever seen. The level of support, the instant camaraderie and sisterhood that is developed, the results willingness to be vulnerable. And for those of you who are out there going, I don't want to be vulnerable with anybody, that's okay. But eventually to heal, you have to be with yourself and with others. You don't have to be, you can choose to be, right? Okay. And just things that are showing up, that are continuing to show up. And one of the gals that's actually coming into partnership with me, her whole life, she thought, if I'm going to be successful, it has to be hard. I have to push. It has to be difficult. It's got to be onerous. And every day it has to be like that, right? Nothing's easy. This was her complete mindset about success. And trust me, she was very successful in her other career. And one of the things that came through for her in Intention Circle was ease. And now everything's easy. And she's just like, since we did that and we created that intention for me, and we all meditated on it, everything's easy. She said, I almost feel guilty. Everything's so easy. She's getting clients, things are developing, her personal development is easy. That was one instance. Another instance was really cool. We had a gal who's in a direct sales marketing company. She's the OG distributor. Everybody in the company comes under her. She was distributor number one, right? And she's personal friends with the people who own the company. And they wanted to make a bunch of changes that were going to be detrimental to the leadership and to the field in terms of compensation. And she was ready to quit and go back to the corporate world. And she's like, I really wish there was a way I could talk to them and help them understand what they're doing and how detrimental it's going to be. No kidding. The next day, she got a phone call from the home office of the company asking her to come in and meet with the owners to talk about their proposed changes. She went in on a Monday. They loved what she had to say so much, they invited her back the next day and Zoomed in her leaders so they could talk about it too.
Wow. I mean, you can't make it up.
We're not making it up. It's just incredible. And I'm all filled with goosebumps now. So we are creating a company to allow people to come in. We're changing the names because we don't want to infringe on what anybody else is going on. The intent's going to be the same. We're going to create intention circles, and we're going to have opportunities for leaders to come in and create these intention circles in their world, as part of their brand. And we're just going to take this thing and go global with it so that we can help women have that support network that they haven't had, to allow them to dream, maybe for the first time in their life, because they've never given themselves permission to step into what it is that they desire for their lives. And then the power of all of us. I create personalized meditations for each person when it's their week to be the receiver. And we all meditate on those for the next 7 days. The power of that is just so beautiful. And knowing I've got all these people behind me in my corner that are supporting me. And we do it each week. We keep stacking each week. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations. This is so amazing. Yay. Very cool. Amazing work. I think it's so important. I really feel like the underlying theme here is like relationships and being able to be your most authentic self and be vulnerable with other people that you feel safe with, of course. And, I feel like it just makes so much of a difference in I know that it makes a difference in your life, in other people's lives. And, at the end of the day, this is not just like woo-woo stuff. This is science-based. Like, this is backed by research. And it's so phenomenal to see someone like yourself putting this work out there in the world and really helping others become the best version of themselves.
Thank you. I do want to just say this very quickly. I'm 64. It took me until I was well into my 50s to even learn about this or to know about this. What a gift to young women as yourself, and even younger women in their, late 20s, early 30s, who are struggling and they don't know why. And again, it comes back to that obligation we have to the collective, specifically to women, to help them understand it doesn't have to be that way. And that's such a driver for me all the time. Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said that, because I actually just recorded another podcast with another guest, and we were talking about how, you know, I'm 30 now, and it was, you know, I was saying that I wish I knew these things in my early 20s, or like earlier on in life as a teenager. You know, these things are not taught to us. And unless you're in, you know, some circumstance where maybe, you know, out of luck or whatever, your parents, your guardians were into Eastern medicine, spirituality, energetics, you know, it's really, you really won't be taught that unless you take the action and you decide to learn about it. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. This is a gift for you and
Thank
for
you.
all of us, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So as we wrap it up, are there any words of wisdom you would like to leave the listeners?
I think the main thing I want to say to encourage you and to lift you up is let yourself sit in your shit. And I know that sounds contradictory. Because when you allow yourself to come into that place of awareness and face those things and build that network of support for yourself as you're facing them, you'll get through it a whole lot quicker, and you'll get to the beauty that's on the other side much more quickly. So, if you need somebody, we're here for you. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so, so much. Are there, so Judith, where can people find you?
Okay, so I have taken a pause on social media for a minute because I've got so much going on. It just became overwhelming to try to do reels and keep posting and do everything all at the same time. When we launch, I've got a new website that's being built right now. When that launches, I'm going to come back on social media. You can come to my Instagram account, Judith.Force for Transformation. There are tons of reels on there. In fact, I have people email me all the time. Oh my God, I started watching your reels. And then 2 hours later, I looked up and I've been watching all your reels. So a lot of good stuff on there. My website is judithrichey.com. That will be launched soon. There's another one there, but it's being staged and that'll be new. The easiest way to get in touch with me is to just email me, judith@judithrichey.com. That's easy, simple peasy, right? You can find me there, judith@judithrichey.com. Let's stay in touch because we got good things coming down. And when this intention circle thing launches, it's going to just revolutionize the way we do community and manifestations. I'm very excited about that.
I'm excited for you. We will most definitely be in touch.
Yes. And we may have to do a whole podcast just on that and bring in my two partners and us all talk about
Absolutely. Part 2.
Yeah.
Thank you so, so much for coming on. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity to come talk about this. The more we demystify this, the more, it becomes a part of our world, and that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenna.
So guys, if you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.